For those of you who are not familiar with Mardi Gras, Mardi Gras is the final day of fun and feasting before the fasting of Lent. And as you can see, you take it all in, you do it to the best of your ability because you got 40 days to sober up. I know lots of you are familiar with the Mardi Gras in New Orleans. To be informed, we do Mardi Gras for the same reason that everybody else does. We just do it quite differently. Mardi Gras has crews, which is a parade, and you go to the parade and you holler, "Throw me something, mister." In Cajun country, you are the parade, and nobody throws you anything but a chicken, and if you want to eat supper, you have to catch it. In New Orleans, they have king cakes with a little baby in it. Whoever finds the baby is the king. In Cajun country, I would imagine it's whoever finds the gizzard in the gumbo.
Well, in the moment, during the chicken chase, the person who catches it is the king for the moment. He holds the chicken up in the air, and he's the one who's providing for the gumbo.
And in the old days, you took that home and you ate it. Nowadays, they take them home, and they're about to pass an ordinance in Eunice because so many chickens go home, the neighbors are starting to complain at 3:30 in the morning. I mean, it's gotten bad. The reason that we're here mainly is to tell you that tradition is a very important thing. It's a part of your history, and you are the keeper of it, and please, if whatever your family tradition is, pass it on to your children. We have taught everyone in the family about our costumes. I got the sewing of the costumes from my grandmother. We got the mask making from my in-laws. We've continued this since the 70s, but we have daughter-in-laws, granddaughters. These are 2 great-grandsons. So these are generation 6 that are participating in Mardi Gras in our family. And, you know, I guess if you go deer hunting and you shoot a deer, that's to be proud of. But at our house, it's when you wear your first Mardi Gras costume. Tomorrow we take out the 3 little bitty ones on the children's run. Last year they had over 1,000 children registered to run, and I think over 3,000 adults registered to run. So this is not a fly-by-night thing, people. This is serious. You know, you're about to witness something great if you stay till tomorrow, Tuesday. It's our thing, and I'm proud to be part of it.
Now, some people are wondering what it looks like. Can you explain maybe the costumes and the hat and the mask?
3 hats. The hats came to this country from, say, would you say Italy, France?
In France, right.
Yeah. The bishop's mitre, the scholar's mortarboard, and the capuchons. And we all have capuchons on. And at Mardi Gras, if you can't get the full gist of it, wait till you see 3,000 capuchons bobbing in the countryside. That's when you can really figure that people are serious. The costumes themselves were leftover work clothes and feed sack fringes and whatever you didn't use for aprons, curtains, pillowcases, dish towels. You save those little bits of scraps, and those are the ones that make the greatest costumes. We have 2 or 3 pieces in our possession that are about 50 or 60 years old, and it's all old unbleached cotton or feed sacks. And
but usually in a tatters pattern to indicate to pretend to be poor, and at the same time you're wearing a cap that came from the nobility. So you're doing a conflict of images.
Another conflict is you put your gloves on and you totally costume and all to hide from someone, and then you put bells to let them know you're sneaking up behind them. Go figure. I don't know, but it works. It works. I've had family that didn't know till we stopped at noon, and they took off their masks to be able to eat boudin as to who that, you know, excuse me, that nice-looking girl is your sister. Lay off. You know, what has happened? Honest injured, it's happened.
Now, one of the things that interests people a lot of these masks, and as you can see, if you're looking out there from the crowd, if I hold it up, you can see right through it, right? It looks like no big deal, but when you put it up on your face, it has a remarkable effect.
Yep.
Georgie makes these herself.
This is an antique. That's a handmade. But we've been doing those again. That was passed down to us by my in-laws from the late 40s.
And the strategy is that you can do a lot with a little. Just throw the eyes off just a hair, the nose off just a hair, and it has a remarkable masking effect. It's hard to tell who it is.
Yep. It works.
And these screen masks came from also from Europe. The strategy came from Europe, but we started doing it our own way here.
Yeah. Well, wire screen was, they say, invented in the 1860s somewhere in Austria. And so I'm thinking, what made those Austrians make screen masks out of them? Because the ones in our collection, we have about 2 dozen, and they're all over 100 years old. And I'm thinking, what did they make them for? Who did they make them for? And there's no one left to tell us. So the tradition, somewhere along the line, somebody got their hands on one, and the Cajun said, man, I'm not going to buy that. I can make that me.
And that's not the only thing. That's not the only thing we made wonderful use of from Austria. The other thing was the accordion, which was invented in 1827 in Austria and started arriving in Louisiana about the 1850s or 60s. And you just heard evidence of what we did with that as well.
Maybe we ought to let Austria know what a great influence they've been on our Mardi Gras. Invite all the Austrians to come.
Maybe we could twin ourselves.
Well, yeah, they just got to be able to chase chickens.